History is rarely shaped only by wars fought, treaties signed, or empires rising and falling. Often, the most critical moments occur in silence, in messages carried through shadowed corridors, in warnings whispered behind closed doors, in decisions made far from the public eye. Among these hidden events lies a story so potent that it prevented a catastrophe which could have engulfed the globe, the secret message that stopped a global disaster. A single communication, invisible to the world at the time, altered the course of history forever. 10. The world teetered on the edge. At the time, global tension was at its highest. Nations amassed armies and fleets with unprecedented speed. Alliances were tenuous, and suspicion spread like wildfire among governments. Every border crossing, every troop movement, every diplomatic message carried the potential to ignite global war. Ordinary people, unaware of the stakes, went about daily life as if nothing was happening. Yet above them, in hidden chambers of power, leaders knew that a single misstep could trigger a catastrophe the likes of which humanity had never seen. The world hung in fragile balance, waiting for a spark. 9. The birth of the message. In a dimly lit office, a message was drafted that would become the invisible key to saving the world. It was encoded with multiple layers of ciphers, each more complex than the last. It contained vital intelligence, instructions to prevent preemptive military action, and warnings of misunderstandings that could escalate into full-scale war. The phrasing was deliberate, each word carrying immense weight. If intercepted or misinterpreted, it could have accelerated the very disaster it sought to prevent. The message was a thread connecting nations, capable of averting a global inferno if it reached its destination on time. 8. The journey through shadows. The message's journey was perilous. Couriers traveled through hostile territories, sometimes disguising it within mundane items, a book, a garment, or a sealed crate. Spies tried to intercept it, and encrypted codes had to be memorized in case the physical letter was captured. Weather, accidents, and political checkpoints constantly threatened its safe passage. Each handoff was a test of loyalty, skill, and nerves, as the slightest error could lead to catastrophe. In many ways, the fate of the world rested in the hands of a few ordinary humans performing extraordinary acts. 7. Intelligence games. While the message traveled, global intelligence agencies were working tirelessly. Double agents, secret informants, and cryptographers worked to uncover, misdirect, or interpret the threads of communication moving across continents. False messages were planted, spies sent on diversions, and misinformation campaigns executed to test reactions. Every nation involved had its eyes on the same prize, understanding intentions before actions spiraled into chaos. A single intercepted report could have led to miscalculations in war. Yet, remarkably, the message remained unbroken, invisible, and intact. 6. The shadowed threat. Without the message, disaster was imminent. Military forces were misreading each other's deployments, governments assumed aggression where none existed, and entire regions were on alert for strikes that never came. Armies were positioned, warships patrolled borders, and air reconnaissance swept skies in tense anticipation. One misplaced assumption, one misinterpreted order could have unleashed fire and destruction on a global scale. Nations stood at the edge of catastrophe, oblivious to the invisible line being drawn between survival and annihilation. 5. Human courage behind the scenes. The unsung heroes behind this message carried incredible burdens. Couriers risked capture and death. Diplomats navigated fragile trust networks under immense pressure. Intelligence officers labored day and night to maintain the secrecy and timing of the communication. Each action, each decision, each small act of courage was magnified by the potential consequences. Ordinary citizens unknowingly became part of a web that could ignite a global disaster, while the heroes in shadows ensured it did not. 4. Near misses and moments of panic. Several times, the message almost failed. A courier was delayed by storms, intercepted by a patrol, or fell ill during transit. Codes were misread, routes had to be altered, and backup contingencies were invoked. Each of these near misses represents a moment when the world could have plunged into chaos. Armies on alert prepared for combat, unaware that a single letter could clarify intentions and prevent catastrophe. Each incident emphasizes how fragile history can be, balanced on decisions that the world may never fully know existed. 3. Political chess and secret negotiations. The arrival of the message initiated quiet diplomatic maneuvers. Leaders reconsidered troop movements, delayed offensives, and reassessed alliances. Negotiations took place in private chambers, back channels were activated, and threats were neutralized without the public ever knowing. Secret agreements were forged to buy time, clarify intentions, and prevent misunderstandings that might have led to war. In these unseen corridors, the message shaped global diplomacy in profound ways, altering decisions that affected millions. 2. Lessons for civilization. The story of this secret message teaches that history is often determined not by battles fought, but by restraint, intelligence, and timely communication. Military strength alone cannot prevent disaster. Foresight, judgment, and courage are equally decisive. One carefully composed document, delivered at precisely the right moment, prevented countless deaths, economic collapse, and global instability. It reminds humanity that subtle actions can be more powerful than armies and weapons. 1. The enduring legacy. Today, the world exists because of decisions made in secrecy and because of a single message delivered in time. The secret message that stopped a global disaster reminds us that history is fragile, balanced on invisible threads, and influenced by the courage and foresight of a few individuals. The heroes behind the message, couriers, spies, diplomats, clerks, remained largely unknown, yet their actions preserved millions of lives. Scholars still debate what might have occurred if the message had been lost, delayed, or misread. The lesson is clear. Peace is often shaped not by conflict, but by courage, timing, and communication. History is written as much by wars averted as by wars fought. Even now, the story reverberates as a testament to human ingenuity, bravery, and wisdom. The world continues, oblivious to the catastrophe that was narrowly avoided. Yet, every letter delivered on time, every code deciphered, every quiet act of courage reminds us that history is fragile, and the fate of millions sometimes rests on choices invisible to the world.